Now, I'm Paw Daddy's Blind Hog Barbecue. A lot of people think that if you use a temperature controller on your offset smoker, it takes all the skill out of your cooking. I disagree. Today I'm going to show you how I use two BBQ Guru Pitbull fans along with a FireBoard 2 Pro controller on my Goldee's offset smoker. And one thing you need to understand that it only takes a few minutes to take the fans off, and then you're able to cook with it in the traditional manner, just like you run any other offset smoker. Now, I still enjoy managing fire, but sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes you need to make a long cook, an overnight cook. Sometimes you got work to do, you got chores to do, you got errands to run. If you have a controller on your offset, it simply lets you do more time cooking and less time managing the temperature. So today I'm sharing with you what works on my Goldee's offset smoker. Now, I'm really not giving advice on how you set yours up. I'm just telling you what works for me on this pit. For my system, I'm using two BBQ Guru Pitbull 25 CFM fans. And I'm controlling that unit with a FireBoard 2 Pro controller, which I already owned before the project. I prefer to use a battery rather than plug it in. It limits your fan speed if you run it just off the little tiny battery in the FireBoard. Therefore, I like to use an auxiliary battery, a power delivery source, which I just plug in with the cord, and it powers it up, and you get full power out of your fans. Now, if you're running two fans, you need a splitter. All right, what I wanted to tell you about that splitter cable, it's not really a proprietary cable. It's a standard 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter center positive DC barrel connector. It's got a male end and two female ends. You can buy that cable on Amazon. It would be cheaper than buying it from somebody like FireBoard or somebody like BBQ Guru. You could run this system with some other controller. That's one I just happen to have. The fans simply plug into your pit by way of the adapter. And the adapter I wind up using is the Bulkhead adapter. The barrel is stainless steel, but other than that, it's not really anything that's real distinguishing about it, except it's designed for those fans, and you just push them in, you pull them out. You got a rubber cap over the end. So when you're not using the fans, you use your pit just like you would traditionally use it. You just need those rubber caps. Install those are heat resistant caps. Installing them, it requires a 1 3/8 or 35 millimeter hole, which you need two of them, one for each fan. You install the adapter and then you're good to go. And I used a hole saw drill bit. So that's my recommendation, is to get a hole saw drill bit. Okay, I need to mention right quick that I have installed fire bricks in the Firebox. This is just in the bottom, and it's totally optional. It'll increase the stability of your fire, and it's got some other good features. I'll leave a link for a video above. And one thing you do need to know, if you're going to do the fire bricks and the fans, you need to do the fire bricks first, because it changes the height of your coal bed, and you need to be able to figure out where you want to put those adapters. So it could get them too low and have some interference inside from the fire bricks. And another consideration is, no matter which controller you use, whose controller you're using, it's got to get data from somewhere. And it gets its data from a temperature probe. You should get a temperature probe and dedicate that probe to live inside that smoker. That way you don't have to mess with it every time you want to hook up the fans. And a good way to handle this procedure is to install a probe port if your pit doesn't have one. I use a 3/4 inch stainless steel cable gland, and it requires you to drill a hole. The cable gland is a fairly inexpensive project in itself. My FireBoard 2 Pro controller uses Type K thermocouple probes, and you can buy those in a generic type brand pretty cheap off of Amazon, or you can even go down and get furnace probes, and that's even cheaper, and they do work on that pit, especially if you're just going to have it mounted inside the smoker. Okay, why do I have two fans? I actually started off with one because I was told that's probably enough, and it turned out it really wasn't. It was good up to maybe 225 degrees, but when you got past that, well, it struggled. So I just kind of bided my time, and then when I felt like tackling the project again, I went ahead, I bought another fan, I bought the adapter, and I bought the splitter cable, because you gotta have that cable for 2 fans. And guys, 2 fans works great. You know, this Goldee's pit's got a 6-inch stack, so it moves a lot of air. So a lot of airflow is required, and that's why you need 2 fans on this pit. Now, like I say, if you're going to absolutely limit your temperature to 225 degrees, 1 fan might do it for you. But cooking as we normally cook and having more versatility, highly recommend the use of 2 fans. And with 2 fans, each fan doesn't have to work quite as hard. And then whenever you open that lid, you're gonna have a lot quicker recovery time because you got 2 instead of 1. And if you're cooking in the chill of winter, it's gonna have a lot better performance than if you're just trying to do it with 1 fan. On this pit, 2's the way to go. The way I handle my fire, I use charcoal in a charcoal chimney. Now I usually mix charcoal briquettes along with some char logs. B&B is my preferred briquette. I could use all char logs or I could use all briquettes, but my preferred method is to mix the 2. I light off that chimney, get it going good, and then I dump it into my firebox. And then inside my firebox, I'm gonna put in 3 good sized splits. I'm gonna lay them in there parallel to each other. I'm gonna close that firebox door 100%. My stack's gonna be open 100%, and I'll probably set that controller to 175 degrees. And I will cook at that level for 2 hours. That's the way I like to do my briskets. That's the way I like to open a lot of my cooks. You take advantage of that smoke. And like any fire management, you don't want to get a real big fire before you get going. You just want a good coal bed, and then that airflow is going to control it after that. Now, one thing I want to mention about cooking like this, and this may sound counterintuitive to the rest of the barbecue world. With the firebox closed, sometimes the fan's running, sometimes it's not. So sometimes you got airflow, sometimes you don't. And yet I've never had any bad tasting barbecue come out of this pit because of that. Not one single time. I'm using well-seasoned wood only. Now I'd be afraid to use any wood that wasn't well-seasoned. It works for me, and I've cooked the best briskets that I've ever cooked have come out of this pit using this control system. I'm not crediting the automation for the best briskets that I've ever cooked, but it's part of the equation. You know, every little thing you do adds up. It's your whole cook. It's not just one part of it. It is not a detriment to cooking a great brisket. Let's face it, having a temperature controller on your offset, that's not a necessity, that's a luxury. But it's nice to have. To me, you get the best of both worlds. You get that offset flavor along with modern temperature control. And when you want to get that full traditional offset experience, you just unplug everything and you are back in business. Okay guys, if you got any questions about how I set up my Goldee's backyard smoker, hit me up in the comments. Now all you got to do is hit that like button on your way out. Please consider subscribing, because you know that helps the channel out. And I hope to see you next time at Paw Daddy's Blind Hog Barbecue.